So I'm with Avinash Kaushik at SES Chicago 2012, and whilst I've got like the analytics expert de rigueur here, I wanted to ask him about a recent study on the idea of an adjusted bounce rate. And basically, so Avinash, there's been a study recently that pages that don't load, that we're actually measuring bounce rates for everything, and sometimes these pages are not loading, and so the current metric may not be the true metric. But it embroils a lot of aspects of the discussion, which is what does bounce rate really mean? So I was wondering, what do you think bounce rate means? Is it always bad if a user bounces?
So let's step up and talk about the higher order bit, which is, what is bounce rate actually? And I jokingly kind of say that in English, from a customer perspective, bounce rate says this to you: I came, I puked, I left, right? And so the idea is, technically what bounce rate measures are the number of people who come to your mobile or desktop website and do not take any other action and leave right away, right? So that's basically what bounce rate measures. If you have a high bounce rate, it's important to understand there could be one of two problems, and this is super important, right? The first thing is that your advertising, your SEO links, your referral links could actually be in the wrong place or have the wrong message. So here's an example. So you are running search ads for $50 off dog food, and people come to your web page and it is about underwear. And of course people are going to leave, right? Because, hey, it was dog food, and what the hell is this? And so it could be that your advertising is not targeted precisely, your links are not right, your content is not right. That's the reason people bounce. And it's nothing to do with your site. It has everything to do with your advertising, right? The content in your advertising and the way you target, that could create a high bounce rate. The second thing could be that the advertising and the targeting is all perfect, but then your landing page stinks. So you saw today in my example with the mobile sites, there were all horrible landing pages. I'm going to leave right away. Don't even load the whole darn thing properly. So when you see a high bounce rate, you should remember there are two problems, right? It could be any one of the two problems. First, figure out the advertising, if it's targeted correctly and has the right calls to action. Second, then figure out if the landing page is correct and the right action, right? So those are the two ways in which you can diagnose where the problem is. Now let's come back and try and understand, are all bounce rates bad? So if you have an e-commerce website or any website, so let's even a Yellow Pages website where the person has to do something on the site for you to make money. On an e-commerce site, the person has to buy something so you make money. Well, high bounce rate is bad, right? Or you're on a Yellow Pages website, and the way Yellow Pages makes money is you see the listing for a dentist, my tooth sorting, right? So I see, and I click on the link to go to the dentist. That's how Yellow Pages will make money. Now, in both of these cases, when you hit the buy now button or go into the site, or you click on the link to go to the doctor's website, those are both not bounces. They're both not bounces. So in that case, bounce rate can be a good indicator. Where bounce rate gets a little tricky is on pure content websites. So let's say I wanted to read an article about President Obama's re-election, right, which happened not too long ago. And I search in Bing, and I end up on an article on the New York Times, which I love, the New York Times. And I read the article, and I leave. Now, in that case, I got what I wanted, but I left, and that would be counted as a bounce. In that case, what the New York Times has to think about is, if people just come to our site, read our content, but take no action connected to New York Times, did we make money? And as long as the answer to the question is yes, without Avinash having to do anything, we made money, then you don't have to worry about bounce rate. But if the New York Times needs me to do something for it to make money, a high bounce rate is not a good thing, because it means I did nothing. Now, at the New York Times content website, it could be that I should sign up for the paid version of New York Times. Or I should click on an ad, because New York Times is doing money. Or I should go into the crossword puzzles and buy a book. All those things cost money. So anytime, if your website is such that a person can come and be there, read everything there is to read, and when they leave, you still make money, you do not have to worry about bounce rate. I don't know of such a site. Okay, so on my blog is a good example. On my blog, I actually have no advertising. So if you go to kaushik.net/Avinash, you read the content, and you leave, it's okay. So what I do is I segment the bounce rate. If you're a returning visitor, I don't care about your bounce rate, because you've already been there, you probably subscribe to my RSS feed or whatever. But if you're a new visitor, I still care about my bounce rate. Even on a pure content site with no advertising, I have no e-commerce, no advertising, you can't hire me as a consultant, nothing. No calls to action, right? But for new visitors, I still want you to read my content, my amazing content. But then I want you to sign up for my RSS feed. I want you to click on the link for my book. I want you to read my speaking engagements page. And all of these clicks cause a session not to be a bounce. So for pure content sites like my blog, I care about bounce rate only for new visitors. Because if you're new to my franchise, Jonathan, you've never come to my site, and you read all this content, and then you leave without doing anything, how am I going to make money, right? And so I answer the question. So on my blog, I only care about new. I don't care about returning. That's kind of how I think about bounce rate.
That's brilliant. That's actually got me thinking about bounce rate again. Avinash, thanks a lot.
Thank you.